as we all know, there was a bridge collapse in Baltimore. The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed, and we have 6 people who are either dead or presumed dead. The search parties have stopped. It's an awful tragedy what happened with that bridge, and there's lots of investigations that need to happen to figure out what happened, to figure out who did what, to figure out who is culpable for this at the structural level. That is to say, um, figuring out whether this is about the barge, whether this is about design, engineering, whether this was something that was avoidable, whether this was something that was unavoidable. These are all legitimate questions that have to be asked. And I'm down to ask tough questions. If anybody is down to ask a tough question, it's me. That's not the issue. But what is the issue here? Republicans are blaming DEI for the collapse of the Baltimore Bridge. I wish I could say that I'm making this up, but there is a man named Phil Lyman. He is a Utah state representative, a gubernatorial candidate for the state of Utah. And he says that the collapsing of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which is the bridge in Baltimore that collapsed, leaving 6 people dead, he's saying that the reason why the bridge collapsed, the primary thing, he's not blaming engineering. He's not blaming the barge. He's not blaming bad luck. No. Let me tell you what this man said. In fact, I'm going to show you. He retweets some crazy people who said this. Again, I wish I could make this stuff up. You see here, the Young Conservative Federation said, let's meet the commissioners for the Port of Baltimore, starting with Corinthia Barber. She knows nothing about ports, but she is a diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging auditor and consultant. They break this Black woman down, and they basically say that because she's one of the commissioners of the Port of Baltimore. Again, she didn't design the bridge. Let me be very clear. She didn't design the bridge. She's a commissioner. She's on the commission. People are on commissions for lots of reasons. But the commission doesn't build the bridge. The commission doesn't protect the bridge. The commission doesn't sustain the bridge. But they decided that the reason they showed this Black woman from Baltimore, who's a professional consultant, a strategist, a human resources expert, an educational expert, a coaching expert from Be More, aka Links member, prominent, Black woman in a prominent organization. They look at her and they say, well, you know what? This Black woman is the reason why this bridge collapsed. And what does Phil Lyman say? Again, this is the state rep from Utah who also ran for governor. He said, this is what happens when you have governors who prioritize diversity over the well-being and security of citizens. Again, he's saying that the bridge collapse is what happens when diversity is prioritized over the well-being and security of citizens. This is absurd. But I wish I could say that it's not normal or common, but we're seeing it over and over and over again. Republicans have decided in the last couple of weeks that anything that goes wrong is because of DEI. And they've decided that DEI is their new affirmative action. They even coined the acronym didn't earn it. The DEI stands for didn't earn it. So now any Black person that has a job is DEI, which means they didn't earn it. Anything that doesn't happen is DEI, and DEI is the boogeyman. This is what's happening right now. And so what you end up seeing now is a world where anytime a Black person gets hired over a white person, they say DEI is the problem. DEI is now secret agent talk for don't hire Negroes. No Black people should ever get hired. The only people we should be hiring are white people. And if you hire a Black person, they're unqualified or underqualified, at least in relation to that white person, and they are DEI. DEI is now a kind of shorthand for unmerited success of Black people. DEI is a shorthand for unworthy Negroes. DEI is what they said about Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard. DEI. Somebody told me yesterday I was a DEI hire. Now, what's funny is they spelled hire Higher. That's right. They said I was the DEI hire and they spelled hire wrong. But you know what? That's what be happening. They always have a boogeyman. It was liberation theology in the past. It was critical race theory in the past. It was affirmative action in the distant past, and now it's DEI. They always going to find some concept, some construct, some idea that they want to demonize to rally white people to the polls. Because you notice whenever they have these outrage sessions, whenever they talk about this kind of stuff, there's always an election coming up. They always are trying to rile up white people to vote to stop this stuff. And it often works. We're in a place right now where DEI is getting blamed for the fall of a bridge. A Black woman who's a commissioner for the Port of Baltimore is now being blamed for the collapse of a bridge that she didn't build, she didn't design, she wasn't charged to protect or sustain. Y'all just say and do anything